Well, all
I'm
right.
excited to meet some myconids.
Meet some myconids and see how it kind of happens. Alrighty.
My kind of guys? Or fun guys?
Yeah.
No?
Fun guys.
Fun guys. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our Saturday morning coffee and D&D, because, you know, it's a thing. We're making it a thing. So, lots of faces in the chat. Just Jack, Vixen, good morning, TCG Striker, and of course my wonderful cast who's decided again to get up early on Saturday morning or late Saturday night, depending on which part of the world of the pond you're on.
I'd also like to stress I do have hair. I'm trying to look at the screen that I look like I have no hair. I'm not quite a Brandon yet.
Is that life goals?
Brag is hairless. Hairless goblin.
True.
You're just cosplaying.
I just put a green on.
Where's your hat?
Oh, good call. 2 seconds.
I thought something looked a little off.
There we go.
How?
There's Shraggy.
Which of course you can buy your hat.
Literally
you can buy
off.
that hat at on Amazon. I believe we have an affiliate link.
Oh, does it come in more colors?
Yeah.
I wanted
Be
to.
careful with the command.
Multicolored trags.
That's right.
Human fungus.
That's amazing.
If not, I'll have to double check. Oh. Trying to get that command up. It should be up. Anyways,
I don't
so
remember, but the one you used, it doesn't look very
it doesn't look right.
I'll put the S in the second word instead of the first word for Shrag.
Ooh. I thought you were referring to the Amazon link. I'm like, what's an Amazon? There's no. Wow.
Oh, all the things.
That's amazing. It makes me happy.
Well, you know, gotta do what we can, right? Oh, okay. That's the command.
Get it?
Yep. All kinds of, like, it's too early, not enough coffee. There, we got it right finally. Oh.
There we go.
Whee!
I swear we're trying to do a stream, but you know, we get sidetracked down the rabbit hole. All right, let's see if I can recover this train wreck before something else happens. Big shout out to the community. Shout out to Sirenscape for the background music and soundboards. If you want to learn more about the various sounds you can have for your tabletop experience, go to sirenscape.com. We have a few other shows going on tonight. At 8 p.m. Eastern is going to be Challenge Accepted. Last minute cancellation last week. Do apologize. This week we are going to have it. It should be a pretty interesting episode. Have a couple of things that we've been working on in the background for the better part of a year, as kind of like on that whiteboard workbench collecting dust. We're going to dust that off and properly integrate it into Kofin, so it should be quite interesting. Might even have a guest perform the role that she had created when creating one of the NPC characters. Be loads of fun. Sunday morning, tomorrow morning, 12 noon, over on our YouTube channel, I will be doing Sunday with Scoob, which is kind of my morning painting show where I pick a miniature or some piece to paint and chit chat with friends and cast. All cast members are free to join and kind of just ask questions, chit chat, all those things. Rye has been a pretty much a fixture for the last few weeks, so kind of an extended Scuba and the Rye. Only this time we don't see him, we just hear him. And of course, Tuesday night is Scuba and the Rye podcast over 9 p.m. Eastern over on our YouTube channel. Next week, we're going to have a guest. We're going to have Jason Acevedo from Realmsmith, who's going to be hanging out with us for the podcast. He has a break in his streaming schedule, so he's going to come hang out with us. So I'm sure if there are questions, submit the question. And best place to do that is over on our Discord. We do have a growing Discord community where we can chat about all things Scuba Studio related. And yes, there is bleed over to other topics, but that's okay. Go check us out there. If you're liking the content and want to support the studio, best place to do that is go over to patreon.com/scuba studio. Consider joining being a patron. We got a variety of tiers, some with some exclusive access to things like Kofin, which is our World Anvil site for the world that we're playing in. All of my D&D games typically all exist in the world, and there's still a lot of growth and development. So suggestions are always welcome there. And I think that's it. I believe that's it. Yep, that's it. That's all I can think of right now. Alrighty. How are all of you doing? Do you have a good week?
Busy.
Busy?
Always glad for the weekend.
What
Yeah.
she said,
Yeah.
or she said.
Yeah, I was thinking about it when I was doing the social media post this morning. I was like, you remember way back in the day, Saturday morning cartoon? And way back when they had the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon? I was like, yeah, here's our Saturday morning Dungeons and Dragons. Just not the cool, cheesy 80s animation.
Well, it used to be the only reason I would get up early was Saturday morning cartoons. Now the only reason I get up this early is Saturday morning D&D. So it really does translate.
I love it.
Does that make Shrag uni then?
No,
Maybe?
we killed. The Vulcan killed
yes.
Uni.
Yes.
And Hillary changed her name.
Let me change my name.
Will is carrying the evidence.
Oh, so true, Shad. I love it. We killed uni. Saturday morning cartoon just got real grown up.
Yeah, what do you mean we, Kimosabi?
Oh, yeah. We're innocent-ish.
That was an all Vulcan all the time move.
Totally.
So when I make
Completely-
potions out of the unicorn horn, you don't want me to tell you about it.
Correct.
What
No.
unicorn horn?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly. You want to eat rainbow-flavored meat? That's good.
Especially because it was a young unicorn. Because as that occurred, it came to mind that, you know what, I don't like picturing unicorns as like I think of unicorns as kind of like a stocky beast, not necessarily graceful. So for me, full-grown unicorns are going to be Clydesdales.
Clydesdale with a horn. There's a
Clydesdale, proportional horn for a Clydesdale, which means the horn that the unicorn that Vulcan killed was probably still a fold. I'm sorry, Hillary.
I feel even worse now.
So unicorn venom.
Yeah. And what did you say? It tasted like
Mommy's coming
Skittles?
after you.
Yep. Skittles.
Mommy's coming after you. You're the one holding the horn.
Wow. You know that question, what could go wrong? I think we know why it's going to go wrong.
I mean,
Oh,
maybe she does something and winds up getting transported to the dimension of ice cream and chocolate. Who knows? What was it? Ice cream and cotton candy? I don't know. If I can get if I could ever get Lauren Urban to guess, I'd probably ask her, like, what's this realm called?
I'm going to Candy Mountain, Charlie.
That
That
works.
sounded really creepy.
Have you seen the video? It's creepy.
It was well and truly captured in that one statement. Nice one.
I like that. CSI Underdark. Which Who song would be the appropriate theme for that? Since all the CSIs had a Who song for their opening credits.
Oh. I didn't realize that.
Yep, each one.
I'm
I
just
don't
thinking
know
of I'm just thinking of Anarion now with his goggles of dark vision, just walking up and just doing the part.
It's hard to do it with a headset on, but I totally get the Horatio comment reference.
Yeah, but then just chewing on the end of them for a bit. Ah, dear, we digress, but all good
We
fun.
digress,
Jack knows
but
what
you
I'm
know it's
talking
fun.
about.
Alrighty, so let's kind of get into it then. To recap where we were, The party has made their way to north within the city, navigating through a variety of districts to try and get to a set of stairs that would lead them up to what is considered where the Myconids are rumored to be residing. A few interesting potential encounters along the way. They found an area where the floor had given way, and a colony of cave fishers had seemed to have taken up residence and used that as a way to kind of fish for food. There was a sighting of another gas spore floating about the area, and then stumbled across a roper deciding to partake in a little Durgar snack. The party intervened, and then also attracted by the battle was a group of flame skulls, who and the party proceeded to engage with. They managed to dispatch all 6, and then as they finished off the battle with the last 4, they came upon the entrance to what is a stairwell that leads up. Willhelminia had collected the 4 skulls from the battle and was putting them in her pack. The idea is to descend up the stairs to where these Myconids are. They have a guide, Tablis, from the Sniblivin enclave to the south. I'm gonna get that word right eventually. And that's pretty. It's kind of a short recap. It was more or less just a travel montage, and now we're here at the entrance of the stairs. The party is taking a breather from their last battle, taking stock and assessing as they view the stairwell that leads up.
Wow.
You say Shragnaz would be like, oh, guys, not like, I know I like fire, but can we just take a moment?
Please.
Yes, a variety of fireballs was ensued. Which, if you want to find out what happened, go to our YouTube channel and check out the latest episode. It's called Great Flame Skulls of Fireball.
Nice. So, guys, I could do with a quick sit down. I don't know about you guys, but maybe just like a little rest before we go any further.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to need some rest. That last little encounter kind of hurt me a bit.
Yeah, I'm hurting.
So, what is the
Short rest?
Short rest.
Short rest?
Short rest.
All right.
All right.
Okay. I have not done a short rest in ages.
Short rest allows you the opportunity to. Short rest is typically, for those who don't know, short rest is up to an hour or so of light activity as your opportunity to use up any hit dice that you have pending, as well as if you have any other abilities that would refresh. If you're in D&D Beyond, hit short rest, confirm. I don't think it calculates the hit die, so you have to do that. If you are going to do hit die during a short rest, you roll the die and you add your Constitution modifier to the results of the die, and that's the number of hit points you can regain. And you have a number of hit die equal to your character level.
So, Will, or Hillary, you cast a spell during that last battle. I don't remember the name of the spell, right, where you get max hit die back, or max points back. How long does that last?
It would technically still be in effect for a few more moments, because I believe it's at least a minute.
Oh. Yeah, it's at least a minute. Let me just double check. Yeah, it's a minute.
So, if you want to use it now would be the time before it dissipates.
Yeah, I'm going to take advantage of that. Now I got to recalculate.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so I used 4. And my thing is a D8.
Times 26.
We add our con modifier every time?
Each die.
Each die, okay.
Plus.
And remember, your hit die are equivalent to your class level. So if you're a multi-classed character, you have hit die of one class and hit die of another.
Yep.
Awesome.
It's especially if you're one of those people who wanted to multi-class barbarian, because barbarian have like a D10 for their hit die, D12 for their hit die.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that brought me back to 2 points below max, so that's nice.
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 I think I'm gonna lay on hands to recover some more.
Yeah.
I have
What's the CR rating of the Flame Skulls?
Oh, Flame Skull CR rating?
Yeah, it's a question in the chat.
Okay. I was trying to figure out what the context was, so that's why I didn't react.
I think that's what they're talking about.
Jack, if you want to make a quick comment, because hey, I'll interact with the chat just as being the amphitheater of tricksters.
Sorry, Will, go ahead.
I got nothing.
So, just to make us look totally badass, because that's how cool we are, you can tell them the correct writing, because then it makes us look even better as to how many we fought of them. Yay.
Bought 6 of them and a roper.
Yeah. What is their CR?
A Flame Skull is a CR4.
What?
Yep.
I mean, I guess they do have Fireball.
Yes.
They're evil.
They have a few spells, Fireball being the last one, and I kind of like the idea of if they're going to cast Fireball, it's going to be that, all right, I've had enough with this, I'm just going to let it go.
It's more the fact they don't care if there's another one there.
Yeah, because they're immune to fire, so yeah, they could cast the Flame Skull, they could cast Fireball centered on themselves.
I was gonna say,
Unlike
did we ever do? I can't remember. Did we do Arcana check or anything like that to figure out anything about these?
I did a check, but unfortunately wasn't high enough to really know about Flame Skulls.
I didn't remember.
Each of them was dispatched. 2 of them you left behind, and then the additional 4 Hillary picked up and was putting in her backpack while you guys were doing your rest.
Got it.
Leave nothing behind. Waste not, want not, you know?
You're right. Waste not, want not. That's totally a legit thing.
Totally sure it's not going to come back to bite us in the butt in the future. I'm sure. Everything's fine.
Well, to be fair, they did have teeth.
Yeah. Teeth and fire.
Sorry. I'm just randomly just trying to scream 1 second because it suddenly just dawned on my brain. It's I do actually have that.
What is that?
That is the box set of the entire Dungeons and Dragons series cartoon.
Holy cow!
Just because I am uber nerd.
I have 1 too, mine's just not readily available.
That's funny.
Sorry,
I
I said
want
joke. I just saw Dag's comments in chat and he's like, oh, somebody sent me a link to it. Well, I can go about that.
That's amazing.
Wow. Alrighty. So, anything? What do you guys do? How do you spend your How do you spend this short rest?
Ari's gonna go sit in a corner and work on some origami as he works through some thoughts.
Sharpened swords and daggers.
All right.
I'm going to finish off the last of those sauteed mushrooms. Probably not a good idea to take them in with us.
Well,
I'll snack on some veggie pygmy, and I will do the thing again where I take off one of my layers of skirts and like make a bubble over my head, and you just see a little tiny bit of light coming out, and then you see like a shadow move across it, and it looks like a little origami badger, and then you see another shadow that's like arm, arm, arm.
well, definitely Obsidian and Anari would notice this because their passive perceptions are high enough.
You also hear her going nom nom.
Shadow puppets.
I love it. Shrag will obviously be polite and offer the mushrooms around as well, just because, you know.
fine, thank you.
Alrighty, so you're after a little bit on your rest. Sitting there, and Will, as you're sitting there with your little shadow puppets, and you do that nom 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 nom, you hear a nom 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 in quartet around you.
Okay.
Poke my head out of the bubble. Did you guys hear that?
Question, would we have heard it?
You would have. Passive for your passive perception is 20. Anari's is like 23. 18?
18. Will's is
Anari
20.
would have heard something. Obsidian and Shrag, you guys have to roll perceptions. Real quick.
I don't think you guys.
25.
Is it 22?
Yeah, you both would have heard it, because as Hillary does this, and then she pokes her head out, looks around, it's like a little more there again. It's the nom 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 kind of comments. For the three of you, depending on how far away you are, it's a little faint, but Hillary, it's a little louder. It's almost like it's like right behind her.
Can I tell that where it's coming from?
Quick investigation.
Okay. Doo-dee-doo-dee-doo. That was quite a journey. That's a 17.
That is a 17. It sounds like it's coming from your backpack, and it looks like you have some inspiration that you can use, because the shadow puppet idea was so awesome.
I realize how long time passed.
I will look in my bag.
Look in your bag, and you see a dim light as you look, as there are 4 skulls looking back at you, all going nom 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 nom.
Okay.
And as you open the bag, they kind of float out of the bag and are now just hovering there, looking at you.
Apparently shouldn't collect everything you find in the Underdark. Guys. Do they look like they're wanting to, like... Do I feel in danger? I'm in danger!
Roll an insight check.
I still think it's able initiative there.
Dirty 20.
They don't appear to be threatening at the moment. They actually seem like they're having a laugh at your expense with the nom nom nom.
Why do I feel like they're laughing at me? Maybe we should just go.
Kind of float around you, going nom 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 nom. After they do that, they start to kind of cackle a little bit.
All right, we're gonna go now. Bye, guys.
Hi.
Shrag's gonna walk over to one. And he's gonna like look at it and like look for Hillary and like, and he's gonna like generate a fire. It's like the flame ball in his hand. Guys, look! I got flame too. Want to be friends?
They one of the couple of them kind of float down and kind of look at your fireball and look at you like, seems kind of light.
Oh, let's try this. Start to like generate the fireball of a fireball in my hand, not to throw, but just to like generate the flames of it, ready to go. I can do better if you want.
That's okay. But what are you doing down here?
Oh, you guys talk?
Yes.
Oh. Hi.
Hi.
I'm Will.
I will.
Shrug.
Shrag.
Shrag.
One of them, they all did start to kind of sit there and float about in the ground. Like one of them was kind of focusing and chatting with you, Will. One's chatting with Shrag. The other two are kind of just looking about.
What is happening?
You know, we're going from here to there, and we're gonna go kill some drow, and we've killed some of these guys, and we killed some of those guys. You know, just day-to-day surviving. I'm sure you get it. Doing with flames as well. Best way to do it.
Eh. You're not going to attack us again, are you?
I was just going to ask you the same thing.
We were just passing by.
Oh. Oops.
Things happened.
Sorry.
Eh.
We just assumed. I'm sorry. I have to apologize on behalf of all the Overlanders.
That's fair. And as you take a look, you see one skull looks kind of like a dwarf skull. One's kind of like an elf skull.
The one that looks like a dwarf, I'll start talking to him in Dwarvish. Did you used to be like flesh and blood?
He replies back in Dwarvish. Once upon a time.
Oh. Do you remember being a dwarf?
Vaguely. I remember. He vaguely remember. It's been a few hundred years.
Oh, that's a very long time. Well, I'm sorry for attacking you.
I mean, it wasn't very nice, but we don't have anything else to do.
Well, we're gonna go up the stairs. Do you want to come with us? I'm sure you've got your own little flamey skull things to do. But...
Yeah, we should... Well, we had a job, but we don't have a job anymore.
What was your job?
What was your job?
We were told to patrol the city.
Who told you to do that?
Our former masters.
And who is that?
Who's that?
Is a mage of some type over with the drow.
Ooh. Okay. Good to know.
How did you get released from that job?
They all start to turn and look at Hillary or Willhelminia. Your cleric friend.
Yes? What did I do?
You killed us. Again.
Oh.
And they say it in unison.
Oh.
So
did
wait.
you click on?
So by killing you, we released you? So we actually did you a favor.
They look at each other like, and you can kind of see them float like a nod, like more or less.
All right, Siri.
And well, and of course, Shrag, if you notice, Nat is sitting there, kind of nodding, rather nonchalantly, like, it's legit.
Nice.
Well, I'm glad it wound up good for you guys.
I want to hear Willhelminia break out in Maui's "You're welcome."
What can I say? But hey, you're welcome.
One of the ones who's been kind of sitting there watching Obsidian turns and kind of he kind of goes, catchy tune. You see that one's more of a human skull.
You know, the Legend of Moana. It's a good one. Musical.
I'm gonna turn to Nat and go, hey Nat, I'm not quite sure how this works, but you're the book, right? And the book's with me. Can you write in the book? You can do stuff, can you? How about group portrait?
group portrait, and she kind of raises an eyebrow and looks at you, and kind of is pointing to the four of you, and then you four of them.
Oh, yeah, all of us.
All of you.
And them, yeah. Hey, come on.
She shrugs, waves her hand. You see the book come out of your backpack and kind of just float open, and a pen start to appear. And she looks over the book and then looks to all of you. It's like,
hello, guys. Hey, Skulls. Hey.
Skulls kind of look at each other. It's like Shrag, roll a persuasion on the Skulls.
Roll a persuasion on Obsidian. Obsidian doesn't like his picture taken.
Oh. I just rolled 19. That's a dirty 20.
Charisma save for Obsidian or to not be convinced?
15.
I'll leave it up to you, but I would say that he's making a very convincing case, and Nat's kind of sitting there trying to do the whole.
Hey, come on. It's not the weirdest thing I've asked us to do. And besides, once in a lifetime opportunity.
So fine, Obsidian will put his hood up and try and cover as much of his features as possible.
That's fair.
Amazing.
So you convince the Skulls, they all kind of float in there with you, and you kind of arrange yourselves in this group portrait.
I give bunny ears to 2 of the skulls.
You notice when you do that it's like they're flaming, but they're not hot. As you do that, as you kind of put your hand up there, it's like the flame is there, but it's not like it's burning or any kind of heat. It's more just a kind of that symbolic, which is why when they reconstituted in your bag, it didn't like burn your bag away.
I didn't think about that.
So as Nat's kind of moving with her finger and kind of looking over everything, and you see the quill in the book just starts to go back and forth, and then after probably about 10-15 minutes or so, the pen stops moving. Nat kind of looks at it, gives a nod, moves her hand, and the book kind of turns, and you see this big 2-page spread of all 8 of you kind of arranged.
Thanks, Nat. You're the best.
Oh man, I'm really sick of smiling. Oh, that hurt. Oh. Well.
And sensing Obsidian's intention, the Obsidian figure is very dark in the hood area. You can't see much.
She's good like that.
She's got good insight for a book.
Awesome. I should return the book to my bag and have just Nat sat on my hat as usual, just like hanging over the brim of the hat. So, hey guys, you're welcome to join us. You've got free will now.
We're gonna go check on our friends, and if you need it, hopefully, if you see us again, you don't attack us on a whim.
Tell you what, you don't start us, we won't start you. Work for you?
That's fair.
All right, go find your friends. It was nice meeting you guys.
All right, and they kind of float off down the passageway. And after a little while, they're gone, and you're just kind of left like, that was really kind of weird.
Wow. Huh. That was something. Totally thought they were gonna fireball us again.
I could certainly try.
Yeah. I think next time before I put stuff in my bag, I'm gonna try to learn more about it. Although that was kind of cool. I'm glad that we were able to kind of help them in a way.
I was going to say next time, make sure it's dead before you do that, but hey, doesn't that really matter?
Oh man. That's a really great picture. Nat, you're really good at drawing. Thank you,
She nods knowingly.
I give her a tiny fist bump.
For you, it's kind of like that. It's almost like that image from the Godzilla Kong trailer where she's kind of, it's like your hands there and you just got the little finger.
And then I look up the giant thing of stairs.
Yes, the giant thing is stairs. It's a mammoth stairwell leading up and down various sections of the city. The wide, shallow steps spiral up and down the central pillar. As you can just see this massive pillar kind of just fills your vision side to side, and you see the stairs leading up. Of course, there's this mist that's kind of descended down. That's kind of at the descent ending of kind of like spores in the air, but not really sure. And of course, little pockets of crystals that keep going. There's a ramp that's roughly 50 feet wide that kind of parallels up as well as the stairs. So that as you look at it, it's like this is a ramp that was used for carts to ascend, but the stairs are pretty shallow and actually pretty comfortable to walk up, more or less. And it goes up in a spiral, ascending roughly 1,500 feet up or down.
Holy moly, that's a big staircase.
I'm going to ask Cablis again. Now, how was it that you typically communicated with the Myconids?
She tells you the Myconids don't speak. But what they do is they'll release spores as to communicate, but they do understand. They understand Undercommon, like most things, but they can't speak. But they're typically shy, and they typically keep to themselves, and they're not big on surprise visitors, per se.
Is there a way we can announce ourselves before we go?
Not really sure until we get closer.
How close are we going to need to be before we announce ourselves?
You're gonna have to. You're essentially ascending up until you get to where you get to the loft itself. So, not really sure how close they are to the entrance.
Anybody have thaumaturgy?
Mm-mm. I don't has that one. Bless you. Oh, I do have thaumaturgy.
Oh, the things you learn.
I know my own cantrips. Yeah.
Might be something useful when we get close enough to make our presence known.
Yeah, do you mean like just making a noise, or did you have something else in mind?
Well, if they understand Undercommon, then maybe we can let them know we're here to negotiate.
Yeah. Hopefully. We come in peace.
Something along those lines.
Well,
Wouldn't the fact that Cablis is with us help with that, since Cablis has communicated with them?
Cablis has not, personally, but she knows the couple of the others have communicated. Plus, it's kind of a it's Myconids aren't. They're not necessarily rare, but they tend to keep themselves, and it's kind of one of those general things like various colonies throughout the Underdark that exist, and that just in general they don't really have. They sometimes have little scouting parties that go out and whatnot, from what you see, from what they've seen in the past. So while she has not had any interactions with this particular group, others in the conclave have, and also others from other just general knowledge, like, you know, Some of that stuff you teach your kids as they grow up is like, be careful of this, be careful of that, or FYI kind of deal.
Okay.
Well, I guess if that's all we know, shall we head forward?
A journey of 1,500 steps starts with 1. We're gonna have amazing quads by the end of this.
Well, you have the option to walk up the ramp or the stairs, but either way, it's a climb. And
Anarion kind of cocks his head at Willhelminia and says, "You do have the broom."
I didn't want to be selfish and like get on it, but maybe we should like trade out so we're not just completely exhausted by the time we get up there. So does anybody want to start? Can you use my broom? No? Okay. I'll hop on it.
as you're up, you're realizing that the central pillar is roughly 150 feet in diameter. And as with these wide stairs, so it's this huge kind of space as it goes up. And after a while, you start to, after several hours of walking up, because stair climbing is not as easy as walking up flat level ground. You notice that the air has this haze of like dust particles and spores and whatnot. Even the crystals all have their various tints. And then as you come up to where it looks like the stairs start to come to a landing, you notice that there's more color. And as you ascend the top of the stairs, had that description. Where did it go?
I would say once we get into the spore sector, we may want to try to make our presence known so that we don't come upon them unawares.
Well, as you gets up, the haze kind of gets thicker as you come up, and then as you get to as you stairwell, the landing. As a seemingly endlessly climb before you step on a level ground. The area is a riotous jungle of giant toadstools and mushrooms towering in the gloom. The floor is a multicolored carpet of fungi. Growing fungi grows rampant throughout this cavernous chamber, giving everything kind of a greenish tinge. The dim light suffuses the entire garden and lends the grove to kind of a dreamlike quality. Well-worn trails snake in and out of the forest of giant mushroom. And as you're standing there right at that landing and taking in this view, it goes full beyond your vision. It seems to keep going. Think of the overall ambient light in this area is like a full moon at midnight. It's just this green tinge of mushrooms, and within that is some of these other multicolors that goes.
This is... Will's just kind of standing there stammering, just like eyes all starry, like just looking around.
You see mushrooms that look like they're the size of oak trees, 100-year-old oak trees. You see various types. I mean, when they tower up, it's like these things have been here a long time and have grown very large. And the various kinds of other fungi all about the area.
This is the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. All these weeks in darkness, it's all worth it. This is incredible. I don't even know how to process this right now.
What's Shrag's reaction to this sight?
I wonder what it tastes like cooked.
Don't.
That one kind of looks like you.
Hey, just because of the name.
No, you turned into a plant. I know you couldn't see yourself, but that's what you looked like.
Oh, well, that's interesting. Gets his book out and like sketch it.
Obsidian, what's Obsidian's reaction to this sight?
Watching Shragnaz to make sure he doesn't try and cook a mushroom.
And what's Anari's reaction to this sight?
Anarion's gonna nudge Willhelminia and say, you might want to let him know we're here.
And with that,
Okay.
it's Anari. You notice that there is some. You just get a sense of some movement, and after a little bit of you guys standing there taking everything in, you see a few what appear to be Duergar start walking towards you. However, when you look at them as they get closer and you get a good look, they look like Duergar, except in the fact that on all of the on any exposed skin, there appears to be like mold and fungus growing from the exposed skin. Even in their armor, where there's cracks in the armor or spots that look like there were wounds at some point, there you get a little bit of that fungi and mushroom growth out of those. And they just kind of walk towards you.
I'll nudge Willhelminia a little harder and say, let him know we're here.
I think they know we're here, but okay, I will make. Do you want me to make light or make a noise, or what did you want me to do? I don't speak Undercommon.
That's going to be a problem. So I'll tell her the words.
Again, reminder, you all have a basic concept of Undercommon because
From
of
talking with
because
this-
of the deep gnomes,
Yeah, that's what
and have had a chance to. You haven't had a whole lot of practice with it, but like I said, it's that tourist level Undercommon. You can.
At least tell him we come in peace, as you suggested initially.
I will say
slow
that.
and say it loud.
Hola, me gusta.
With your thaumaturgy.
Yeah, and I'll use thaumaturgy to make my voice a little louder, but not like scary, just so they can hear me before they get there.
What do you say?
I, in my broken Undercommon, just say, hello, we come in peace. Thank you for
Maybe-
receiving us. Well met.
Maybe mention we want to negotiate.
We're here to talk. Bidet.
And I don't have any swords out. I don't want no threatening appearance.
Okay.
Yeah,
Shraggy, do
hands
not
away
eat-
from weapons.
Yep.
Shrek, do not eat any mushrooms right now.
Okay.
It's your one job right now.
All right. Roll a persuasion.
Oh God, why am I the one doing this?
You're the one who spoke.
Why? Why? Natural 20.
Nice. As you with thaumaturgy helping you kind of cast this voice out. After a little while, this group of Duergar stop, and then as they stop, you notice that around there's these mushrooms that are about medium size, all start to move.
Yep.
As if they have arms and legs, and start walking towards you.
Ha.
And they're a cacophony of colors as they come close, and as the Duergar actually kind of move away from you and kind of take up positions to the side. You also notice that a few of the larger like fungus trees had started to move, and even they have stopped moving and seem to be waiting as a couple of these mushrooms walk closer to you. And once they get within, they move to where they get within about 5 feet of you. What is your reactions?
We come in peace.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stay still and wait and see.
Yep.
All right.
I've got my hands up and I'm just trying not to move.
And once they get within 5 feet, there's a poof of like mist and spores in your faces. And as you breathe it in, unless any of you attempt to not breathe.
Shrugs up for he's going to take a big deep breath and be like,
I was gonna say, didn't Kabbalah say that they use the spores to communicate, so we'd kind of have an idea that it's coming if they're trying to communicate.
But still, depending on how, thinking about how if your characters are really nerve-wracking by the, it's like, this is really kind of weird, I don't know.
Anarion knows he's immune to diseases, so he's not terribly concerned about that aspect of it.
So as you breathe in the spores, eventually you hear a couple of voices, because each of the two of them had done this, and in your heads you start to hear a voice as you hear a couple of voices, and one of them's like, "Are you friend?" Another one's like, "Hey, are you foe?"
I'm gonna think friend. I don't know if they can hear thoughts, but I'm gonna just think friend.
And then I'll say out loud in Undercommon, we come as friends seeking to negotiate.
Bragg, Will?
Shrag's trying really hard not to think of sauteed mushrooms. And he's going to go, friend?
We would like to be your friends.
You can almost see they turn and kind of look at each other, nod, look back, and says, "Okay. If you're a friend, why are you here? You said negotiate. Negotiate what?"
I look at Anarion.
I know, me too.
So I'll say in Undercommon, we were told by the deep gnomes that you might have in possession something that we seek, and we would like to negotiate its purchase or how we could obtain it.
And they kind of look at each other and look back at you. Okay. We'll take you to our king. You can talk with him. Follow us. And as you hear their exchange, the two of them, it's like one talks and they finish each other's sentences, and as they both turn, it's just come with us.
I love them.
Shrag looking at his fingers and wiggling them, going, "That's worst mushrooms ever."
One of them looks back and says, "We're not all bad."
Damn it, forgot that.
Neither are we.
Can we tell if they're responding to spoken communication or mental communication?
Roll an insight check.
16?
It's more of a mental reaction. So you're hearing the voice, you hear them, and as you converse, whether you speak out loud or mentally, they're getting the message as long as the spores are there. And as you start to progress through, you see these worn paths and kind of move into kind of an offshoot cavern area, and you enter. You see this appears to be like the center of a large Myconid type city or colony. As you get into more of the city center area, it's the temperature feels a little cooler. Overall, it feels like it's very kind of musty, but not like humid. But this area, it seems a little cooler. And as you go, there are some clearings and whatnot. And as the colors in this particular area are a little bit brighter, you see there's a thick coat of glowing fungi along the path that you're walking. And as you look about, you see various pockets of what appear to be gardens, and you see creatures tending the gardens. You see Duragar, you see drow, you even see a couple of hook horrors tending some of these fungi gardens. And then you see another creature that kind of looks like an arthropod, only it's a little bit larger. It's kind of like it's got a pair of claws and 6 legs and a carapace type frame, and the face and it's tending the garden too. And as you see them, and you see other myconids are kind of kind of overseeing and kind of wandering about. But with all these creatures you see tending the gardens, and all of them, you see that anywhere there's an exposed bit of skin, there is some type of fungus growth and mold on the skin. And even in anywhere there's a break in the armor or the clothing or the carapace, you see fungus trying to growing out of it.
So basically it appears that from the fungus growth, that's how they're controlling them.
Roll a nature check.
Nature. Not my forte. 17?
It doesn't appear like it's this controlled natural growth.
I'll kind of focus on the back of the head of one of the myconids that's been talking to us and think to him and say, we've encountered some of these creatures down here and they were dangerous and violent, and here you have them tending gardens. Are you controlling them, or are they your allies? How have you done this?
They attacked us. Now they work for us.
Oh.
It's the way of the things.
Okay. And if we're in communication, did everybody else hear that? Or do I get the sense it was just a one-way thing with just me and the creature?
It's more or less just a kind of a one-way. It's kind of a group conversation, so it's depending on if you want it to be a one-on-one thing or if it's just in general. Their responses are typically kind of in general. Okay. But it's your thoughts to them that are more of the one way. Okay. So for everybody else, they heard half that. They didn't hear what you had said unless you wanted them to hear what you said. But they did hear. Everybody heard their response. And again, it was that one speaks, the other. Every other word they speak when they're in that pair, and it's a very flat, nonchalant, as in this is just another day in the world, kind of comment.
Okay. Yeah. Don't let's try not to attack him.
So Shrag, in the interests of actually trying to be as like friendly as possible, is now wearing kind of like his armor's changed into robes, but the robes is like literally trying to match all the mixture of colors of the fungus and stuff around us. It's like this really bright, extravagant sort of mixture of sort of bright purples and pinks and blues and stuff, and it's in his robes.
It is very much a tie-dye experience. It is literally just splashes of color.
So you look like a high school art teacher now.
Getting into the swing of it, it's all good.
Just catch Shrag out of the corner of my eye and do like a double take. Very nice. I want one of those.
When in Rome, Underdark, place, do as.
I like it.
And of course, as you notice, each of these tenders don't react to you. Focus on their task, and as you kind of lead through, the pair that are leading you kind of waddle about through some low stone mounds and kind of arranged in kind of a concentric circle. You reach a large empty space near a globe of some type. The globe looks like it was suspended from the ceiling, but it had fallen, so there's a couple of little cracks, but it's still kind of this kind of central thing around it. Off to the side, you see a larger myconid stirring a pot. As he's kind of stirring something that looks like it's bubbling. I mean, it looks like it's a cooking pot, but there's no real flame that you can tell, and it's kind of bubbling and whatnot. And the pot itself is kind of like a clay pot, and as you smell the fumes as you smell it, it's this very kind of earthy smell, almost, and it kind of makes you really kind of appreciate the role and nature that fungus plays as you get closer. As you're smelling this, eventually you hear another voice, one that's a little more in authority and a little flow. The speech is still kind of that. It's try to be very flat, but it's got a little bit more weight to it. And it says, as this myconid turns to look, he's, "What do you seek?"
I'll explain to him in Undercommon that we're after the shards of the weapon that we were tasked to get, and we were told by the deep gnomes that he had an orb that was part of those items that we seek, and we were interested in trying to obtain that through negotiation, trade, or something along those lines. We didn't come to take it by force.
So you seek the dark treasures. Are you allies to the grief givers?
No. We don't come from the Underdark. We come from above. So we are not related. Go ahead.
Sorry, while he's doing this, I'd like to hold up my hand, open the bag of holding, and with fingers pull out 2 items and say, "We found these and we believe these belong to you." And one is the small bag of powder that we found, and one is the white swirling potion. I just very carefully, not in a threatening manner or anything else, I want to very carefully take them out.
One of the 2 myconids that came with you, as you pull that out, the king looks over to them and nods, and the smaller one comes and holds out a hand to accept it, and goes through that, and then looks back over, and you hear the voice, and you hear a voice. And basically saying it's what it's supposed to be, the dust and the vial. So they were, and kind of accept that, and then the smaller myconid puts that stuff away. You're of the surface. You're not with the grief givers, the tentacled ones.
Definitely not. We're opposed to the tentacled ones.
Shrug will go his hand out and do like sort of a, yeah, we like killing those ones.
He kind of bows his head. That is good. It is. The tentacle ones have poisoned against which we have no defense. They spread a dust that changes my people, causing them to be violent to each other. Never in our history have we done violence to each other. The poison keeps the circles from melding, and we become less than whole. I can find no cure.
That's awful. They turn you against each other?
Yes, my people don't fight each other. It is not our way.
Can you not communicate with each other when this is happening?
We can. We normally communicate each day. But these that are poisoned, they cause fights, disrupt our harmony. Many have died in these fights. It is not our way.
I'm gonna sidle up to Anarion and sort of pull on his cloak and be like, "Hey, Anarion, we got a chance here for a bit of negotiation. They have something we want. We can maybe help them."
So I'll ask, I'll ask the king, what would you require of us for us to obtain the orb?
If you can help with this poison, then I believe we can make an exchange for the shiny object you seek.
How do we help with this poison?
Must go to the tentacled ones and find their poison and bring me a sample so I can find a cure.
Yeah.
Sounds reasonable.
Been here a long time. Do you happen to know where their home is? Where we may find this poison?
The tentacle ones are to the south. Below the old city.
Do we have to go back down the stairs?
Yes. And
Are they
further.
Are they below you?
Yes. Below the old city.
Directly below? So we would take these stairs straight down?
No. You would have to travel south and then find another stair that leads down.
Can you provide a guide or give us a map or directions?
No. And then he points over to Cablis. She's better at that. Her people travel the old city more than ours.
I'll look at Cablis and ask her if she knows what he's talking about.
The discussion of the tentacle ones, you see her face go pale at the mere mention of illithids and mind flayers. And she goes, "Yes, there's a colony. We try to avoid that, but if that's where you're heading, I will be your guide." And you can tell she is mustering every ounce of courage in trying to say that, because mind flayers are no fun.
I'll let her know that she doesn't need to come into the colony with us, but just at least lead us there and wait for us to return.
She nods.
Yeah. Just get us there. You don't have to come in with us. You're amazing at hiding, so you should be all right.
You've not fought them, have you?
A few of them.
You've not
With their
fought
trolls.
them, have you?
No, we've avoided fighting them directly so far.
That's the best policy.
I don't think we can continue to avoid them, though. We need to get this poison so that we can help them make an antidote.
Is there any more information the king you can provide to us?
What's the question again?
I'm going to ask the king, is there any more information that you can provide to us about the tentacled ones and how we can best defeat them? We want to help your people.
We do not know, but their poison is strong.
You say it's a dust? How will we identify it?
I do not know, but I need a sample of it. Pure sample, non-diluted, where they put it in the water up here. And as he says that, you realize coming through that there are very small trickles of streams and water and natural forming pools of water that feed this whole area.
Well,
May we fill our I want to say canteen, which is not the right word. May we fill our water on your streams?
Yes, we could help you with that. There are a few that are untainted that we know of. Untainted yet.
Do you know which ones are tainted?
Yes, we tried to once one of ours is tainted. We tried to isolate the areas that they gained water, and try to commune that we avoid those. But there are becoming more and more. There are very few places of untainted water left.
if we stay here tonight, tomorrow I can prepare a spell that can purify some water. I don't know how much, but I could help a little. I can also create water.
I was going to say I can do the same. Would it be an Arcana check to see if purify food and drink would work on those tainted pools?
I believe. Yes, you could a small amount. I believe there's a limit to how much you can do that with the purify.
Yeah, what's the
5-foot radius sphere is what the spell says.
Yeah, so a couple of small pockets you could do that with, but some of the pools are a few hundred gallons of water, so you wouldn't be able to effectively purify that. But there are some smaller areas, and if it's that, they could get together some basins and allow you to do that. And
just as a gesture of goodwill, gesture of good faith.
that is kind. We thank you for that.
Of course, anything we can do to help. You have an incredibly beautiful place here.
It is safe. You may stay.
Thank you.
Hey, big guy. If we get you this cure, can you cure the ones that are already sick, or is it just gonna stop new people getting sick?
I can brew a cure for all. We will be safe and harmonious again.
And do you know, does this only affect you guys, or do you see it affect anybody else?
Unknown.
Oh. Maybe if you make the cure, we can have some too?
If you feel it's okay, then yes. We will share.
We have much more travels to do down here before we can return home, and it might not be the last time we see the sorrow bringers. What did you call them?
The grief givers. The tentacled ones.
It's a good name for them from what I know of them. Well, should we settle in for an evening and get an early start?
I take it we keep off the campfire. Hey, big guy. You know that obviously we eat different to you. We cook food. Can we get like a little safe area to cook? You know, like rocks, clear area, not set fire to you guys?
That should be easy.
What are you cooking there? It smells amazing.
He looks down at the little pot and goes, it's just a attempt at curing the sickness.
Oh, wow.
It's not been successful.
Love to smell what your food smells like if that's how good your medicine smells.
You can. We will provide.
Well, thank you. What can we call you?
I am called Rysetta.
Rysetta. Hi, I'm Will.
Nice to meet you, Will.
Well met.
Haha, she said well met.
He kind of looks. Huh. That is funny.
Hey, these are fun guys.
Anything else you require?
Well, this might be very dangerous, and I hate to ask anything more of you, but we have a higher chance of success if we have some way of healing ourselves. We are very low on healing tonics. Do you have anything like that that you can spare?
There are some. We can show you which are good to eat, which are not.
That would be very helpful.
We can even help you with a path to shorten your journey.
Oh,
The city is dangerous.
that.
That would be most helpful. Yeah.
That would be very helpful.
If there is nothing else, show you to a place you can rest.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If we can rest, we can spend one day purifying some of your water, and then set off on the morning after.
That is kind. We appreciate it.
Hey, rice cake. Big guy. These people you got working for you. Did they have any gear and shinies on them when you got them?
They may have. We have no
What?
need for such things.
Oh, what did you just like chuck it away, or is it in a corner somewhere, or just lying around?
It is in a pile.
We'd be happy to haul away your trash, at least some of it.
Once you return from the grief givers, you may have your picks, as well as the object you seek.
I love this guy.
Good question, Shraggy.
So just so I'm clear, I'll ask the king once more. Just to make sure I understand clearly, the grief givers have a dust of poison that they're putting into your water supply that changes your people and disconnects them from your whole and makes them violent.
Yes.
So what we're looking for is a dust of some sort, but have you any description of it, or is it just any kind of dust?
He doesn't know. He just knows
Okay.
that whatever it's clearly something that is foreign that is put into the water. And when they various myconids drink from the water or use the water, it then turns them violent. And then as part of that, there's infighting, and then there's death. And for myconids, they don't fight each other. It's if you picture the fact that this is very much a kind of high, it's a semi-hive mentality. There's no violence. There's none of the things that plague normal cultures are there. They commune with each other every day through the sharing of spores, and and they don't commit violence. They make their food, they tend their gardens, they eat their food, they live their lives, and that's it. No aspirations as far as what traditional humanoid type creatures would do with their squabbling and infighting. And the fact that, and for them to have all of a sudden have an elements of violence introduced into their culture is very unsettling, because they have no natural defense to such violence.
So basically, I'll look to the party and say, I guess we're looking for any kind of dust that we can find that the Illithids might have. And then we'll bring it back, and hopefully one of them will be what they're looking for.
I've got plenty of vials in my travel alchemy kit.
That'll work.
Yeah, so do I.
Excellent. So after they show us where we can rest,
Yep, the two lead you over. It's not so much like a domicile, like a building, but just kind of like a little clearing area there. You can use it as kind of an area to set up camp. And every so often, various myconids come by just to kind of investigate, because they're naturally curious, but they're all very much kind of like that deadpan kind of thing. And then every so often you see some of these other creatures that have been tending the garden just kind of wander about. You also see at some point a couple of what appear to be fungus trees walk by.
So in discussion with Will, I'll just say maybe what we can do is speak to our respective powers, and tomorrow we spend all of our spell slots purifying as much water for them as we can, and then the day after we'll travel.
If I create water, I can create several gallons. I'm not sure which would be the best method.
Something to debate, because this is a good spot where we're going to take our mid-session break.
Sweet.
So everyone in the chat, thanks for hanging out with us. Stick with us. We'll be back in a few minutes. Gonna get up, stretch, refill our coffee if we need coffee refilled and that type of thing. And we will see you all in a few.
Bye.
And we're back. Alrighty, we had their break, got their coffee. I'm shifting over to drinking some water because my trainer is like, you need to take better care of yourself. So it's like, I will try.
5.
You can certainly try.
Certainly try. Yeah, he was beating me up this week. He was like, have you ever used the sled before? Yeah, I love using the sled. And the battle ropes is like, yeah. I like more of the non-traditional workout stuff that work on your core than you just constantly using the machine. So when he was like, first time seeing me push the sled, it was like push it down and then pull it back. And he saw it, went in there, just did it, and the thing moved like 4 feet each pull. And he was like, damn. I'm like, yeah, well, I've done this. I actually like doing this a lot more than, let me push the press on the machine press or whatever. But still, my lower back was a little jacked up. I had to put ice on it and take some Aleve to kind of work that inflammation.
Hi.
I feel good. I feel great.
We'll have the montage of you running around the garden with a big tractor tire being pulled behind you next.
I to be fair, I actually want to try that exercise where you're flipping the tire. Just for the sake of trying, because it's more of an alternative thing, Because you're using a lot more to do that than. I don't know if it's an alternative or it's more practical to be like flipping the tire versus, working the winch.
It's also more fun.
Oh, that too. Practice chair flipping.
Just do these like 40k games where you're not happy with how it's going and just like take the whole 40k table and just flip it and go, what did we do wrong? Oh, nothing. I was just doing a workout.
Alrighty, back to where we were. All right, so the guys have gotten a little kind of camped area and you kind of hanging out and kind of there, you realize it is very safe in this space for the most part. The sound is kind of quiet because there's not a lot of conversation. There's just like a natural music to the garden. Not really sure where it's coming from or how it's coming, but it's just there's just a natural kind of music and sounds to the area. But but the fact that the Myconids and their servants all just kind of go about their routine, and you're just so used to like, oh, if I'm in a city, I'm hearing voices, I'm hearing conversation. Nope. See them pass each other, spores puff, and then they go, and it's a little disconcerting, but on the other side of the coin, it's also very meditative. The fact that it's like you just see they go, no fighting, there's no arguing, there's no debate that you can hear.
Shrag's getting himself a little pile of rocks, and he's going to sit there cross-legged on them and just be sat there for a little while. Total zen and chilled. Just his book open in front of him.
Move into the following morning, which I will note that a day has passed in Kofin for you guys.
Did we have a little bit of time the night before to kind of explore a little bit?
Yeah, you have not time the night before. You have time today. To be fair though, when you got in there, it's kind of been a long day. So if you wanted to, but yeah, you could definitely do some exploring.
Well, what I want is maybe after we finish our day of helping them with their water, I would like to find one of them that's willing to kind of show me around and show me, like, teach me about all the different kinds of mushrooms.
Okay.
But we could do that after the water or whatever.
No. If you want to do that for a little bit, you go and are trying to, and it's like you get a little spuff of spores, and you talk to one, and then you ask your question, and they're like, okay, and just kind of leads off. We can go now.
And I'll just follow them around and listen with rapt attention to everything they're saying.
So they point out, like, you get a like, it's like it's a point, you basically you start to get an idea of the various mushrooms and fungi that grow in there, and you can see, okay, yellow molds, brown molds, stuff to avoid. This is zirkwood, it's used as similar as lumber. And then some of the stuff that's edible, some of the stuff that has medicinal properties, some of the stuff has psychedelic properties. You get the whole bit real quick, and a lot of it is they're kind of pointing out what's growing in their gardens, and then what's some of the surrounding stuff. So you're able to kind of get an idea of, okay, if it looks like this, it's probably good. If it looks like this, and it's just a little bit of a difference.
Green with yellow spots, good. Green with gold spots, bad.
Yeah. But definitely the more vibrant ones are the ones to stay away from.
All right. Thank you.
Which is interesting because, again, everything has kind of a greenish hue to it up here. So it's very... And then the fact that you're using your dark vision, it's like it's almost like looking through night vision kind of thing, and it's like, okay, I could kind of tell the difference between these two.
I would probably cast light occasionally on my finger and just like direct it so it doesn't like blind everything around us, just so I can see the colors.
Oh, okay. And yeah, and then you start to see the whole rainbow of colors. And it just kind of shocks you how much color is down here with how little light.
I'm in love. All right. And then after doing that, I'm like, all right, Anarion, you ready to help these people with their water situation?
I'll have talked to the king and described the limitations of my particular spells so that he can guide me to the areas that would have most effect.
He's like, very well. and kind of comes in a couple of other myconids kind of show you a spot to help you get prepared for what it is you want to try and do. Whether it's here's an area, here's a basin that they can load water in that's such and such size, or an area that is not incredibly well connected to sit there and it's been isolated to try and work on that purification.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't create, but I can purify what's there. So for my part, it'd just be casting the purify the drink so that it would.
Yeah, so they set up a spot. They set up a space that they could do that, and that they can kind of help with that, fixing the pollution, fixing the poison in the water supply there.
Okay, and then I'll go through and do that then.
All right.
You have 6 spell slots, Anarion?
I have 6, yeah.
And I have 12, so between the two of us we have 18. So then 18 times 5.
90.
You.
I was gonna say that. Did you want to use all of yours on the purifier, or did you want to use some to create the 30 gallons or whatever of pure water that you can do?
I think it'll end up being about the same.
Okay, that works.
So I'll just purify what's already there, because the water that's here probably has all the good minerals and the correct pH and stuff for the plants. So between the two of us, we can do a 90-foot sphere, which is pretty huge. I don't think it changes. Yeah, this is not one that like changes for higher spell cast or spell slots, but
Yeah, no.
that's okay. So yeah, we just spend our day. Pew, pew.
Okay. Obsidian, Shrag, how are you spending the day?
Shrag will expand his knowledge a bit by sort of sketching some of the mushrooms and sort of putting it into the book. Obviously, he'll sit with Nat and we'll just sort of quite literally natter to each other. Just looking at stuff and taking the surroundings and enjoy it and just take a bit of chill time, because he may be a goblin, he may be chaotic, but he has his moments.
Yeah. There's a kind of seeing about. Cablis is also kind of just trying to take it in and, or through some of her maps.
So I'd like to help Will and Anarion any way I can. And then I'd like to speak with one of the myconids about poisons, about maybe which plants are good, the rogue in me, which plants are good to harvest for poisons, which ones may be useful to, tip the spears or tip the swords with to give you an edge and an advantage. And while I'm doing this, my memory bag, so I'm looking for a small stone that I can gather as a remembrance to this amazing area.
One of the myconids is there, and as you have the conversations, poisons. We don't make poison, but we make potion. Maybe that is what you seek. And he goes and he gets pulls out brings you a potion and says, "We give this to our enemies, and then they serve us."
Interesting.
Nice.
May I take one?
Okay.
Thank you.
No, you're not feeding it to Shrag.
But he, in the process of that conversation, he does explain how it's made, and tells you that basically this potion, when you take it after X amount of days, it will kill you and turn you into a spore servant.
That's terrifying.
The other thing, while we're purifying and so forth, I know Will had talked to the king about getting some healing potions or something along those lines. So try to pursue restocking our healing abilities.
Please. Getting low.
as far as healing potions, not so much. In the course of the discussion, you see they have quite a few vials of what it is they gave Obsidian. It seems that's what they tend to make. But as far as healing, it's taking and learning. Okay, if you don't mix these together, you won't get that potion, but you could get a healing potion out of it. Because while this particular potion does have some healing ability, the fact that it heals you to make you a spore servant, as they see it, that's how they see healing, because that's just the way their culture operates.
Yeah, that may not be so good.
Yeah, that's not what we're looking for. Based on the conversation that Will had though with the Myconid, from the ones that were identified as helpful, would she be able to use her alchemy kit to make some form of a healing?
Yes, it would take a little, depending on the level of healing potion you want to try and make. It is possible if you with the alchemy kit or potentially an herbalism kit, but thankfully there's enough of what's going on that you can pick up. That Cablis has an herbalism kit that has a couple of herbalism kits that she carries as a part of her gear, as just in case. So, and learning that, and as Will, if this is what Will does, try to get her alchemy kit, whatever. Cablis offers up a couple of an herbalism kit to assist with that, so you could use that to sit there and make potions. So she assists with making some potions, and between the two, depending on what level, like a basic potion you could probably craft in a day. Anything more advanced is going to take a lot longer for it to kind of simmer and whatnot. So the choice is yours, how long you wish to stay to make these and what level you wish to try and make.
What do you guys think? Should we stay here for a little bit so I can focus on making potions for a few days, or should we head out?
What is the sense of urgency from the king about us setting out?
He's concerned because the fact that this is happening and and not sure how much sense of time in terms is not really a thing. It's just the fact that this is a threat, and this is becoming a persistent threat. Since the Illithid have come into the area and have begun experimenting. As more conversation, he explains that they've been experimenting on creatures, and they came up and they introduced this poison. At first, it was as a powder, as something to affect the fungus men that some of the Myconid scouts that are out patrolling the garden. And then they come back, and then it was eventually the latest escalation has been introducing it to the water supply to try to affect more. So there's a sense of concern to get this resolved, because not sure how much longer they can go without it completely tainting their water supply and completely killing the colony.
So let me rephrase the question. With Will and I using our spell slots to purify the water, how many additional potions would she be able to make within that period of time that we're staying?
You could probably get about a quarter. You could probably get about a quarter to half the contaminated water supply. If you were doing that on top of trying to brew like a greater healing potion, or because. I believe let me double check something real quick.
3 days, I think, was the greater healing. That chart that you had put up.
Yeah, I was thinking the superior healing.
I think that was like 5, no 9.
Oh, that chart we're talking about, I've modified. It's not the actual. Yeah, a greater healing would take roughly 5 days to brew. A superior healing will take roughly 15 days.
So, knowing that those then are out of the question, what about standard healing?
A standard healing you could brew in a day.
Just
That's
one or
all-
how many?
Just one. One a day.
And that's all I
That's
could do in the day. I
Per-
would.
Yeah.
It'd be
and I was
one a
gonna say
day
it's-
per herbalism kit and supplies. So if we'll just compound that according to that. Sadness has roughly 4 herbalism kits because of the traveling, and that'll let you go, and you could get roughly one a day for about 3 days before the herbalism. But with the fact you're in this area that can replenish the supplies to refill the herbalism kit, you can probably get you probably get 4 a day for roughly 3 to 4 days before the supplies that are needed to make the potion that are not available here are completely spent.
So with that in mind, again, with the idea that we're not going to extend the stay too long because the king is concerned, right? What would we be able to do in the day purifying the water with Cabalis's help brewing? How many potions would be able to do?
You could
4?
you could get 4 in that
All right.
day because
So
Cabalist
then-
can focus on that with a combination of the herbalism kit and the alchemist kit because they're not too dissimilar.
Okay.
And with after casting the spells, you can spend the rest of the day resting up and doing that. So you'll be able to get 4 potions, and have 4 healing potions to help out. If the need arises later.
I think that's probably the smart thing to do then. We'll do the 4 potions, we'll do the purification, and that'll be our day, and then we'll set out on the following morning.
Okay.
I'd like to have Shrag do an identify on the potion I was given.
See if you can find him. He's currently sat off in a quiet little corner. Seems to be chewing on something. Maybe like just a little bit of dribble coming out the corner of his mouth. He's looking very chill. He's got the book in front of him. Nat's kind of like sort of... His arms are right out in like sort of the meditation pose, and Nat's kind of like sat in the crook of his arm, just leaning back, just looking quite chill, little hands crossed across the chest. So you can ask him. But yeah, he will do the. How?
Can you identify this for me, please?
That's a potion.
Thank you,
Oh.
genius.
You mean what kind of potion? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I got this. And he'll sit there for kind of like 10 minutes and he'll go, so it's definitely a potion. And then I'll tell him actually what I found out. That's now Scoob's trying to go, what potion did he get?
It's an older potion. It's called it was called a potion of decay. You basically would drink it, and then if you save versus poison, and if you fail to save, within a couple of days you would die, and then you would come back up as a spore servant, which is essentially the way I picture this is essentially if you've played The Last of Us, this is where the fungus animation of the zombies. So if you could picture like the ones where they've had the growths, and the longer they've been it, the more growths occur on the body.
Like a mushroomy version of the crew on the... Oh god, what's it called? The ship that goes under the water in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, definitely.
What is it called? It doesn't matter.
But yeah, for them, it's they don't think anything of it as being dangerous. So
Yeah, because it probably has no effect on them. They've already got like big hoods. Oh, maybe this is why Shrag gets on so well with them. We've all got big red hats on, effectively.
Yes, I love it. Okay, well, was a long day of purifying things.
Yep. You're utterly spent after a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I'm gonna want to rest.
Mm-hmm. Yes, please. Confirming long rest. Why did that not give me back my spell slots?
May have to reselect it.
There we go. That was weird. All right. Feeling much better now.
Have to look that up. I'm surprised this is an older item.
Yeah, I was looking for it too.
I will take a look at that, but it's just from what I've read, what I saw, it's basically you. Yeah. It's going to kill you and turn you into a spore servant.
Lovely. Jack.
And of course, as you smell it, it's got a very fruity taste to it. All right. So the day passes. You all do those things. Next day comes, another day passes. The morning is yours. What do you wish to do?
I think we prepare to head out with Cablis guiding us, but the king said he had a shortcut for us to take, so I want to make sure that she is aware of that shortcut.
Yes, please.
Yes. So, as you kind of prepare yourselves, the king sits there and sends over a guide, just a temporary guide, and a couple of scouts show up and says, "We're going to help you. Please follow us. Stay on the path."
Definitely staying on the path.
So, and then they start to lead you, and as you're kind of walking through, you staying on the path, you see that you kind of got a sense that this whole cavern area is massive, but now you're seeing how massive, because you end up walking for just about the entire day through this area. You every so often you see a zirkwood tree kind of walk past. You see other creatures kind of about, but staying on the path, you don't interact with a lot of them, and you see more of these spore servants of the various races all tending the various patches of fungus throughout the area. And then as you come, you end up walking probably about, pretty much the day you come up, and then you come to an area that appears to be where there's another set of these giant spiral stairs that descend down. However, half of it has completely collapsed. So now it is a drop to below. And as you guys get there, the Myconids go, "Here's the shortcut."
Cool. Is the ramp collapsed too?
And parts of it are. It's like, picture a spiral with half of it cut away.
What
Cool.
What's the distance does it appear to the bottom or the landing?
An easy 1,000 feet or so, and then as the bits of the spiral that are there are crumbles, like this kind of caved in, and it's like navigating down. I mean, it's not like you walk to a precipice.
Precipice.
Yes, precipice, and then looking down, it's a straight drop. You see that this half of the stairwell has collapsed and caved in on itself, So there are spots where as the spiral goes, it's kind of piled up. So you have to like crawl down and then rappel down. It's not going to be a smooth transition down, but the fact that you have walked roughly westwardly for an entire day with virtually no harassment from any creatures.
That's
So
unheard of.
it's helped improved our time, so that's awesome.
Atlas is kind of looking at her map and kind of spacing and kind of getting an idea, and she confirms it's like, yeah, we're now roughly a day west of the west and north. We're roughly a day west of the conclave.
Excellent.
Based on the cycles of the spiral, what's the distance between the landing spaces that are still intact, roughly?
Probably about 50 feet vertically.
Okay.
Because of how wide it's the fact that it's pretty even stairs as far as their rise and run, but the diameter is so large that it's got, and you could have large carts go up and down.
Basically what I'm trying to determine is would it be feasible with say a 50 foot of rope to be able to basically rappel from landing to landing?
Yeah. You would definitely be able to traverse down. It's traversable. It's not as easy as the ascend up.
Okay.
So you're saying it's what, about 1,000 foot down to the bottom, was it?
1,000 to 1,500. It's 1,500 feet, but there's definite sparse collapse for at least 1,000 down. But as you kind of ponder it, wait a minute. We're 1,500 feet above the city, and now we're going to descend another 1,500 feet to the city. It's quite a ways under. And knowing inside the cavern was a good 100, 200 feet high, filled with this whole menagerie of growth. And you can see at some point, way, 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 way back in its past, that was an underground forest. But it had rotten away, and the fungus had moved in.
While we were walking, between talking with Cablis and talking with our Myconid friends, there's two things I would like to see if I can learn about the Illithid.
Okay.
Are they sensitive to light, like daylight? And what was the other thing? I can't remember the other thing, so that's it for now. Like, would they be affected by a daylight spell is essentially what I'm trying to learn.
Does not appear. They do not know if they are.
Okay.
Because Illithid are not. Roll a history check.
History check. Okay.
Yeah, would we have learned anything about them when we were doing research of the Underdark, and would that have told us?
That's why you guys would be a little bit more informed than them. So it's trying to piece together the two sides of knowledge.
Okay. I got a 19.
Okay. Illithids are not native to the Underdark. Illithids are not native to the world. Illithids come from another plane of existence entirely.
That reminds me of what my other question was. Do I know what kind of creature they are? Are they aberrations?
Yes, they are an aberration.
Okay.
They are considered evil by everyone.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you. helps me know what spells to prepare.
But they are from a whole nother plane.
Does
So
she relay that information to us, to me?
Definitely. Oh, yeah.
Oh, good. I have a protection from evil and good spell, and I can cast it 4 times.
Awesome. I also have one. So, but they are concentrations, but we could have 2 going at a time.
Oh, yes, we could.
I was gonna say I do also if we need to. If you want me to prepare one as well.
That will probably come in great handy. That doesn't make sense. That will come. That will be helpful.
All right. So.
Words.
Johnny, Shraggy, do you have that available?
Not available.
Protection from evil.
Protection from evil and good. As a spell.
No. Got fire. That's protection from good and evil. Well, actually, no, it stops good and evil. It's equally effective. No, sadly, that's not one of the spells that Shrek has available in his repertoire.
That's all right. 3 out of 4 ain't bad.
Right.
Well, are you coming with us? I turn to our fun guy friends.
no, we're going to stay.
Okay.
Thank you for bringing us this far.
It's okay.
You guys are okay.
Thank you. There will be guards here in case you come back this way.
Excellent. Well, we ready to descend? You got
So, I was gonna say on the descent, we've got a couple of options as far as that goes because we've got the brooms, obviously.
You've got the brooms.
But I also have a rope of climbing that we can use.
Awesome. Those are amazing.
Yes, this is essentially spelunking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
1,500 feet into the depths.
How easy would it be to use the brooms? Are there spots that we can use them that it
Yes,
would make more sense to
because
use
they're
them?
the way the spirals, as Anarion was saying, is because of the way some of the spirals are. There are spots where you have 50, some cases more than 50 feet to descend. But again, you're spelunking down, so there are spots back and forth. It's going to be a descent.
As long as it's not the descent, we're all right. 'Cause
Oh,
that
we
didn't
could-
go well for anyone,
Very easily become like that, I'm sure. In fact, I almost expect it.
right?
I should have had that soundbite a little faster.
I mean, with how many terrible puns and jokes we make, I mean,
You're right.
You really
I
have
should
it.
totally have had that up here faster.
DM slippage.
There it went.
There it went. Grr, arg. All right. Are you guys ready? Should we? We've traveled for an entire day, right? Do we need to rest again?
It just you probably should, because again, just traveling and being on guard, it's exhausting.
I'd rather rest up here where it's a little safer.
While we have the Myconid guards to help.
Yes, that too.
So yeah, they kind of go, and there's a little spot near one of the crystals for a little natural light. Kind of set up camp and kind of rest up for another long rest, and figure out how you're going to go about descending down.
Okay. Well, Do we need to set up watches?
Could the Myconids cover the watches and let us rest?
Yeah, they'll just kind of go into kind of one of those states of kind of rest.
I don't think we need to set up watches. If they'll watch for us, that means everybody can rest.
Yeah, and again, and just so your full understanding is like the cavern keeps going.
So this is still technically part of their domain.
The cavern does keep going. This is as far as those two will go.
Got it.
So you kind of get a sense that this is the end of their area, but the cavern does kind of weave around and go, and it's probably roughly 500 feet wide and couple hundred feet high, and then just goes, and you kind of see it turn and go about, looping around. So it potentially could keep going, and you could keep traversing along this to maybe find another stairwell down, or because as Kabbalist kind of looks, is like there's a couple of areas where there's more entryways into this area. It's just they're not sure where they all are.
I think that this known route is probably our best solution and also our quickest, because we do want to try to resolve this in a timely manner.
Making sure you have all the information.
So then I think the question becomes for us is how we're going to traverse down, because there's essentially 5 of us and only 2 brooms, but we could use, like I say, I've got the rope of climbing that we should be able to use rather effectively.
I pull out of the bag of holding, I have 200 feet of rope.
Okay. That's a lot of rope.
Kabbalist kind of looks down. On a fall.
Kabbalist.
Is she coming down with it?
I know. Would you?
She doesn't like to
okay
fly, does
broom?
she?
I know. That's why I'm asking. Would you be okay on the broom?
But also, are we getting her to come with us because she didn't particularly want to go down to the Thids? Is this not a better, safer place to leave her? If we leave her with the Myconids, is that not going to be safer for her than us?
I think the question for that becomes, are we actually above the Illithid location, or are we going to need to move further? Because if we need to move further, we still need her to guide.
He said earlier we're still about a day's northwest or northeast of.
Well, you're kind of picture it's like, okay, you have the Deep Gnome colony. You guys went north a couple of days, and now you've traversed west a couple of days. So you're now in relations, like here is the gnome colony, here is where you're potentially descending. The Illithids are further southwest.
So we're still going to need her to guide us to the Illithid.
No, so it is. No, so just checking. It's just whether we need to get her out.
Yeah, and depending on how you want to proceed, yeah. I mean, all options are on the table at all times. She's just not a fan of flying and kind of weighing that whole falling and flying, but she pulls out out of her pack. She's got climbing gear, so I could climb down. It's just not going to be as.
Well, the rope of climbing will give advantage on that for her if she uses that.
So I am going to, before we rest, I'm going to clear out the ring of spell storing, and I'm going to put into it 3 feather falls plus 2 magic missiles. And what I'll do is I'm going to go over to her and say, I know you don't like flying, I know you don't like spiders, but we can't afford to wait behind for you. We need to get down quickly for your safety as well. Do you trust me?
Roll a persuasion with advantage.
Yeah, she's climbing. I rolled a 4 and a 5. My highest was a 6. Well, I tried. To be fair,
What did you get?
I don't trust me. Yeah, I've basically rolled a 6 as highest. I rolled a 4 and a 5.
Say maybe you want to let Anarion try to convince her.
So, as Shrag says this to her, he's going to pause, cock his head to one side, look at Obsidian, look at Anarion, look down his feet and go, so, I'm going to talk to them. That was a silly question. Who the hell actually trusts me? He'll wander off muttering.
Yeah, just does the...
I pat him comfortingly on the back. It's
and Shrag
okay.
gets an inspiration.
Aw.
I'm going to need it this rate. I'm still going to go ahead with the plan with the ring. It's going to have 3 feather falls and 2 magic missiles. Because Shrag knows how he's getting down.
I wish I had Featherfall.
Well,
how many people can you cast Featherfall on?
it's up to 5 people within range, so we could all do it if you want. It's just somebody doesn't like flying, falling, spiders, or other alternatives.
And also it kind of depends on your vision, because, you know, it could be quite interesting. Because the way things have fallen, it's the fact you're still going to be kind of moving and spiraling down, and there'll be some areas where the fall is a few feet. There's a few areas where the fall it could be like 100 feet.
I'm thinking if this is like a spiral staircase that we can see going all the way down, it's almost like a huge silo. I'm taking it. Is it all like sort of hollow in the middle?
Yeah, there was a central column, and then the stairs spiraled down around it. However, because of geology and, you know, age, parts of the central column have fallen and taken out bits of the stairs. So you kind of have this broken descent. And I'm sorry, but my inspiration for this is the Uncharted franchise, because I just got done playing it. So I'm thinking about some of those bits in Uncharted 4 where you have to descend, and it's just, oh god, oh god, oh god. So that's my image for this, is like you can fly down on the brooms, yes. It's just then, but there's going to be spots where you'll land and kind of traverse around. There'll be spots where you're doing the whole parkouring and bouldering, and it's going to be a fun descent.
Okay, so there's not one sort of ultimate drop right from the top down to the bottom then. Oh, what a shame. I was going to cannonball off the top.
There are spots you could do that, but then there are spots where you can't.
Yeah. That's fair dues.
So based on our knowledge of Cablus's abilities, would it be best to have her climb then, based on her skill set?
She could climb. She's pretty proficient at climbing, and she has all the gear. And if you give her the rope, then she'll be even more proficient.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll give her the rope of climbing. That'll give her advantage, and then the rest of us can use the brooms. I guess that would probably be the easiest way. Yeah.
No. You take the night to rest and work out your plan. And then that means the following day you'll start the descent to the bottom.
Yep.
Because you're using the brooms, essentially pretty easy to traverse down. The only thing you might see is some possible rock fall, just because the natural goes. And after a little while, you descend. And working with Cadmus, it takes you a day, just because of traversing around and navigating the spots where you can't fly the broom and have to actually crawl around and get in. You end up back on the base in the city. And there is a path that leads out into another kind of residential area, and that is actually a pretty good stopping point for this week. So next week we will progress down and start making our way to the Illithids.
I'm excited and scared at the same time.
So are we going to knock off just as we stop here today? We're going to say we stop today going into another long rest?
Yes.
Cool.
So this is actually 4 days of or a good 3 days in game as we progress through for this.
Cool.
So some days it seems like a couple of sessions is only a few hours, then others it seems like it's a few days.
Yeah. Sometimes it's a minute.
Some days.
So you're saying I have a whole week to pick my spells?
Yeah. We will pick up at the start of yet another day as you start to progress.
Most excellent.
So, but yeah. Going to investigate some illithid. Shenanigans ensue there.
Hopefully there is no face hugging, but there probably will be.
There'll be lots of hugging. There will be the ultimate hug foo.
Not the good kind.
And there are so many different illithids in the books to pick from these days because we now know more about how illithids reproduce and all of the various shenanigans that can ensue. It's gonna be great.
And the DM's been playing Baldur's Gate 3 as well. He's gonna have all sorts of ideas.
Maybe somebody's unboxing of miniatures inspired a few ideas.
As
Maybe,
if he
certain
needed any
books.
help. He did not need any help.
Rime of the Frost Maiden with some new illithid ideas. I mean,
Okay,
Yeah.
what
Gotta
more
get
could
the
you
books
want?
away from him.
I gotta give credit where credit's due with Megan Kendrick and her idea for the Coelomorph.
So hang on, so we've gone from just illithids now having like icy cold illithids.
No,
Great.
the Rime of the Frost Maiden had the Coelomorphs in it. The idea is, and this was something Megan Kendrick had, from what I understand, Megan Kendrick kind of brought forth the idea to Todd and to the team was, what happens when a mind flare infects a gnome?
Wow.
It's essentially
Yeah,
a
and then
gnome mind flare.
And then somebody asked the terrible question of what happens when a mind flare infects a beholder.
Extra tentacles?
Yeah.
The funny thing is, when they suggest that idea and they said, how does that grab you?
Many times.
I'll get my coat.
Yeah. We see the giant hook from the Looney Tunes cartoon coming out and pulling out. So let's see. A day. It was a day there. You get this is 3 days total in game. So we'll be starting another day. Trying to make sure I can add the right number of days to. Pass rested, helped. Another day passes traveling. Another day ascending. Yep. Cool. I have that in my notes.
Awesome. That was a lot of fun.
I'm glad. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I'm hoping everybody in the chat enjoyed it. Thank you all for all the channel points and all those other fun things. And now there's the now the chat is going ballistic with what happens when a mind flare inflicts a purple worm, or how about a bunny?
Oh
He
God.
doesn't need help.
Both of those things sound awful.
Well,
What
I
about
mean,
a Grick?
Oh. Yeah, there you go.
Just gets more tentacles around the mouth.
Tentacles on both ends. No thanks.
Whoop.
but thank you everyone for checking us out and hanging out with us today. Thank you to Sirenscape for the background musics and soundboards that we were playing throughout the majority of the episode. Now, of course, we switched over and we're running some we'll close the show out with some stream beats. DR for music you can use for your streams. We've got merch. We've got ways to support all the things. So all the links are in the panels here on Twitch. And tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern is going to be challenge accepted. We'll see what that party has been getting up to while this party has been descending the Underdark on one end of the continent. Challenge accepted is on the other end of the continent, trying to figure out what they're going to do to cause mischief.
Fun
Thank you.
stuff.
So thank you again to the cast. Anything you guys want to plug before we head out? Shamelessly self-promote, whatever.
Tuesday
Go buy a Shrag
night.
hat. Have a whole realm of people with Shrag hats on. What more
Yes.
can I say?
The Shragnaz army.
Goblin Cavalry present.
Tuesday night, join Scoob and Jason. For a little
Yes.
chatty chat.
Again,
Yeah.
Tuesday night, Scuba and the Rye, 9 p.m. Eastern over on our YouTube channel. We're going to have Jason Acevedo, a Realmsmith, hanging out with us.
It's a great show.
Do we want to run that Shragnaz command again for the hat? Somebody's asking for it, and I know we have a chat command.
There you go.
Shrag's hat.
There you go. Shrag's hat. Link right there. And it's an Amazon affiliate link. So when you use that link and then do other shopping with Amazon, use that link to start, and then any other shopping you do on Amazon, I get a small kickback from Amazon. So please use the
Oh, really?
affiliate link. It's
I didn't
great.
know that's how it worked.
Yeah, affiliate link with Amazon is like you have some items that are there, but one of the nice things from what I understand is when you, if you click on that link and put the hat in your cart and then go and do more shopping, all that stuff kind of bundles together as kind of a marketing kind of kickback. So
Oh, really?
yeah, I don't
That's
have much
awesome.
for a curated list of items. I wouldn't mind some suggestions on some of that, but that's what some of the other crafters and makers, they have a curated list of items that are Amazon affiliate links. So if you buy that item that they use and whatever, they get a small kickback from it. I actually made a few dollars still on my last run with my affiliate link. Didn't realize I did till I got the deposit.
That's awesome.
Nice.
So
Do it for extra money.
Very cool.
So,
Get on
hey,
the
all
merch.
those ways to support. We got the merch, we got t-shirts and hats and masks and all those things, and looking for new ideas for merch. So it's all good. Yeah, at this point, I'm kind of just rambling. So I think we've covered all the bases, covered all the things. Tomorrow morning, 12 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to hang out, paint something. I'm not sure what I'll paint yet. Could be the new Dwarven Forge I got. Could be some random Reaper mini I got. But as always, all of my cast are welcome to come and join the Discord chat. If you're a Patreon member of, I believe, regular and up, you get access to that Discord channel as well. So you could join in on voice and we could just chat about whatever comes to mind while I paint a miniature and pass the time. So, hey, all the fun.
Sweet.
With that, everyone have a great afternoon, a great weekend, a great week, and we will see you on our next stream. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Have a good day, guys.
Bye.